I made a custom Bowser's Fury level using the Captain Toad levels from Super Mario 3D World. There's a new cat shine for Mario to collect at the end, and there are some unique twists to the level that make this different from the normal Captain Toad levels. Instead of Mario falling down onto Furstep Island, he lands on the first Captain Toad level. There are no invisible walls here, so you have to be careful to not fall off and take damage. Off in the distance, you can see Bowser resting there. We're lucky that he's not awake yet. Since we're playing as Mario, you can jump, and I've added key pieces for a warp box instead of the green stars that are normally here, and the warp boxes are what lets you go between the Captain Toad levels. The moving platforms here are similar to the original level, but I've replaced some of the enemies here. The third key piece is back here, which is where a green star normally is, and this moving platform is solid from the bottom, so you can't jump through it. I wanted to add some block steppers here because I like the sound that they make while they march around. If some of the block steppers run off the level, they do explode once they fall into the goop. I bounce on all of the block steppers, taking them all out, and you might notice that there's a stingbys that got lured up here. I head on up to the top of the level and try to take out the 3 stingbys that are near the platform, but that one stingby is far away because it got lured there when I was bouncing on the block steppers. I try to do a spin jump over to it, thinking maybe I can get it from here, and BAM! We are gaming! Defeating all of the spinbys is required to spawn this key piece here, and then we go and get the final key piece, and we head on down to the warp cube. We're teleported to a Toad house now. There's still rain dripping down the camera lens, but it's not raining inside the house because Toad has some good roof. And more importantly, there's an object called a no rain area that surrounds the house. And if you look out into the ocean, you can see the vast ocean. I picked this small mystery box, and that's the lucky choice. We get some nice power-ups from that. Something important to note is when you're this early in the game, if you use an item that you have in storage, it doesn't work, it just disappears. We go through this door and we end up at the next Toad level. I jump up here to get a key piece, and there's some Koopas down here. The Koopa shell gets me a key piece, and we get the next key piece, and we head into this pipe. Normally, there's no green star in this pipe, but I wanted to give some incentive for entering this pipe, so I put a key piece here. Up at the top, we get another key piece, and then we drop down for the final key piece. You might have also noticed that I removed the water that's normally in this Captain Toad level. At the top of the level, there's a sign that's suggesting that we go behind the level, and sure enough, when you drop down here, that's where the warp cube is. We're in another Toad house now, and this time there are 3 Toads here. There's also a Bowser spike that's protruding into the house, so we have to be careful. It's not just a decoration that the Toads thought looked nice, it actually does hurt you. Luckily, Mario gets some more power-ups. Oh, and there's an invisible wall here so that you don't accidentally leave the Toad house. The door takes us to the next Captain Toad level, where Bowser wakes up once we arrive, and there are now fireballs falling from the sky. I didn't include some of the platforms that were part of the original Toad level here, so that this level would become more difficult. I jump down onto the platform below and get the first key piece. We climb up here to get another one. There's one behind this fence, and this pipe here is a fake pipe because we don't have enough ghosts in this level already. Up here, we have to jump high to get the key piece, and there's fire falling from the sky that takes away Mario's catsuit power-up. Mario gets the key piece and takes damage again as he runs by, continuing through the level. You can see that the final key piece is surrounded by these ghost enemies called Peepas, and Mario has to be careful to just not get defeated. He jumps down, gets the key piece, spin jumps away, and makes it up to the warp box. And this warp box brings you right in front of Bowser. You get a close-up of Bowser's big face looking at Mario. I go for the big mystery box, and my choice gets me a lot of power-ups. There's an invisible wall here, so we should be safe. When you step into this door, you might be in for a bit of a shock, because you end up right on the edge of a block. You get a key piece, and you realize that you have to collect some more key pieces for the next warp box. There's one back here. I miss my cat dive back onto the block because the camera keeps trying to turn towards Bowser to face Bowser, but we land back in the Toad house because the roof has no collision from above. I'm thinking of maybe moving this Toad house to the side so that you just fall if you make that mistake. What do you guys think? Since we're in the Toad house, we get to try again. This time, I get the key piece, and Mario gets back on top of the platform. We jump up to the next part, Bowser staring at us, and we get the propeller box and a key piece. There's one more key piece down here, so we get it, fly back up, and then we fly up into the warp box. The warp box teleports you to the next Captain Toad level, and you do keep your propeller box when you take a warp cube. You've got fireballs and bullet bills to avoid in this level. There's a lot going on, and you move around the moving thwomps to get the key pieces that you need. This level is possible without the propeller bots and without the catsuit, but these power-ups definitely do make it easier to move around the level. I was looking for where the final key piece was, and it was on the other side of these blocks here, but you can't dive through these blocks, so I have to go around. The falling fireballs get rid of Mario's propeller box, so I spin jump around to the key piece, and we make our way over to the warp cube, and you can see Bowser in the distance again. I thought this was a really cool twist on the Captain Toad levels, playing in this way and making a mod like this. I was wondering how these bullet bills would work if I swiped them with my catsuit, and I ended up taking damage and losing my catsuit power-up by doing this. So I went into the warp cube, and we are now at the next Captain Toad level. This level normally rotates, but I realized that it becomes very difficult, but still possible if you remove the rotation from the level. As you can see, Mario is going to have to do a lot of careful wall jumps and dives here to make it through the level. Mario collects the first key piece and falls off, being careful to not get zapped because he doesn't want to become Little Mario, and he gradually makes his way up the level with spin jumps and dives. This is definitely very different compared to how you normally play the level as Captain Toad. We have the final two key pieces up here at the top of the level. I tried to jump into that little space with the key piece, but I wall slide, so I wall jump off and dive into place and get it. I don't want to get hit and become Little Mario, so I wait a moment and then go across and get the final key piece. I managed to slide down without falling all the way down the level. And you might be wondering, where's the warp cube? We haven't seen it yet. And it's up here, the most difficult spot to get to. I tried doing a spin jump from here and doing 90-degree wall jumps to get high enough and then do a jump dive onto the platform, but it's really tough. And to make things worse, I fall and take damage, so now I'm Little Mario. And you can't use your power-ups this early in the game. If you try to use your stored power-ups, they just disappear. The hardest thing about this is that when Bowser is active like this, the game keeps trying to turn the camera towards Bowser. So you have to focus on making good wall jumps, not getting too high so the ceiling pushes you down, and you have to make it to the platform as well after using a dive. Eventually, Little Mario makes it to the warp cube. And when he pops out of the warp cube to the final Captain Toad level, he almost falls off. He is right on the edge here. I chose to do a spin jump around here so I don't have to deal with the fire piranha plant up there. There's a P-switch to step on here, which ends up spawning the cat shine, and then we want to head up to the top of the level as these signs are showing us. I dodge this first fireball that's coming towards me, ready to spin jump onto that far fire piranha plant, but the fireball from the closer fire piranha plant gets me. There are no checkpoints, so you have to start from the very beginning and collect all the key pieces all over again. After a bit of practice, I got a lot better at getting to this difficult warp cube where you have to make this dive after doing the 90-degree wall jumps. This time, I'm regular-sized Mario, so I should be good, right? You can see the cat shine up ahead, and I know that this trampoline is going to make you bounce really high in the air, so I do a dive quickly so I don't go too high. But it's nowhere near high enough to make it to the cat shine, and I can't even recover back to the level. I try to make it back to one of the previous Captain Toad levels that are nearby, but there's no way to make it back. I was doing pretty well at the Captain Toad level with the bullet bills, but when I was almost at the end, I almost fell off here, but thankfully I had a catsuit and I was able to recover this. The Captain Toad level that normally spins is so much easier with the catsuit, it is ridiculous. There are no difficult wall jumps to make, all you have to do is climb up and dive. So, third time's the charm, right? I jump onto the trampoline, I make sure to wait a moment before doing a cat swipe, and when I come down, I still didn't get close enough to get to the cat shine. So Mario falls again, and I have to do all of this over again. This mod that I created is more difficult than I expected, but it is really fun. I really like the idea of a game that gets more difficult as you progress further into the game. So at the harder parts of the game, it's not only difficult because the level itself is difficult, but you have more pressure because you have a lot on the line if you make a mistake and you're going to have to redo everything. And if you manage to get to this level with the catsuit and the propeller box, that is the easiest possible way to get through this level. But it is pretty difficult to avoid taking any damage up to this point so that you could keep the propeller box. Okay, so I'm all the way here with the propeller box now. There's no way that I can miss the cat shine now, right? I bounce up really high. I'm surprised that I take damage. Maybe it was from a fireball that was up there, or I passed by a fireball, and I fall towards Bowser, towards the cat shine, and we get it. Shine Captain Toad, shine Captain Mario. This was a really fun level to make, and if you're interested in seeing more custom Bowser's Fury levels, or if you're interested in seeing what is possible in games for both regular gameplay and hacking, I have some links in the pinned comment that you might find interesting. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that you all have a fantastic day, and take care, everybody.